There is a lack of consensus over the meaning of public policy. This lack of consensus derives from disagreement over the boundary of what should constitute public policy. Should it be posited at the level of decision-making, intention, or action of government? Public policy refers to a pattern of resource allocation represented by projects and programs designed to respond to perceived public problems and challenges requiring governmental action for their solution. Implicit in the above definition is that public policy is what government actually do and not what they intend doing. In other words, mere declaration of intentions, wishes, and principles or expression of desires cannot be regarded as public policy. On the other hand, there are scholars who regard declaration of intention, wishes, or proposed course of action as public policy. To them, public policy is a major guideline for action. To them, public policy in most cases lay down general directives rather than detailed instruction on the main lines of action to be followed. A distinction can be drawn between policy and decision. A policy usually has wider ramification and longer time perspective than a decision. Policies provide the guiding framework for day-to-day decision required in the application of resources towards the attainment of organizational goal. Public policy can be seen as a proposed course of action which the government intends to implement in response to a given problem or situation confronting it. It is a statement of what government wants to do or what it will not do. Public policy can be regarded as general rules, regulations, guiding practices, or action in a particular activity or problem area. Categories of public policy. The main categories of public policy include policy demand, policy decisions, policy statement, policy output, and policy outcome. The first one is policy demand. There are demands or claims made upon public officials by other actors in the political system for action or inaction on some perceived problems. Such demand may take the form of insistence that government ought to do something to a proposal for specific action on the matter. Number two is policy decision. These are decisions made by public officials that authorize or give direction and content to public policy actions. Examples are decisions to enact statutes, issue executive orders or edicts, promulgate decrees, and so on. The third one, policy statement. Policy statements are the formal expression or articulation of public policy. They include legislative statutes, decrees, presidential orders, administrative rules, and court opinions, as well as indicating the intention of goal of government and how to realize them. It is important to mention that public policy statements are sometimes conflicting. They are sometimes conflicting in the sense that different and contradictory policy statements may be issued by different levels, branches, or units of government. Another one is policy output. Policy outputs are tangible manifestation of policies, that is, the things actually done in pursuance of policy decisions and their statement. They are therefore what government does as distinguished from what they say it will do. Examples are health centers actually built, road constructed, school built, industry built, and so on. It is worthy to know that policy output may sometimes differ from what policy statements indicate there should be. Policy outcomes. These are the consequences of society that result from action or inaction of government. And for example, the intended consequences of the central or the current, privatization policy being implemented in Nigeria are efficiently and higher profit of the privatized firm, removal of government subsidies for public, enterprises, thereby saving billions of naira worth of public funds spent on them over the years, etc. But the unintended consequences are inflation and the consequent hardship for families due to low purchasing power of the naira. Again, the capitalization policy and the merging of banks being implemented by the Central Bank of Nigeria some time ago might have achieved the intended consequences of strengthening the banks, thereby securing public funds. But it has led to retrenchment of workers of banks, which did not meet the deadline for capitalization as fixed by the Central Bank of Nigeria. These retrenched workers now join the masses of the unemployed in Nigeria. The reasons for the public policy. There are reasons for the study of public policy. There's an increasing upsurge of interest among political scientists and public administration scholars and practitioners in the study of public policy to the description, analysis, and explanation of the causes and consequences of government activities. These reasons are as follows for the study of public policy. Number one is what we call scientific reasons. Public policy can be studied in order to gain greater knowledge about the origin, the process by which it is developed, and its consequences for society. This in turn increases our comprehension of the political system and society generally. Professional reasons. The study of public policy promotes professionalism. As we have noted earlier, the study of public policy enables us to know the causes and consequences of public policy. Once these are known, it becomes possible for us to prescribe and give professional advice. Such advice can be directed towards indicating either what policies can be used to achieve particular goals or what political and environmental factors are conducive to the development of a given policy. Then the next one is political reason. Public policy can be studied for political purpose to ensure that government adopts the right or appropriate policies to attain the right goal. In other words, the aim is to improve the quality of public policy in a desirable way. Notwithstanding, that substantial disagreement in society exists in society over what constitutes correct policies or the right goal or policies. Policy analysis. Policy analysis has been described or defined by various scholars. For instance, it is the systematic investigation of the alternative policy options and the assembly and integration of the evidence for and against each option. It involves a problem-solving approach, the collection and interpretation of information, and some attempt to predict the consequences of alternative course of action. It can also be defined as the analysis of the determinant characteristics and implication of public policies and programs and the substantive consequences and outcomes they produce. It is a set of techniques that seeks to answer the question of what the probable effect of a policy will be before they actually occur. A major defect of the latter definition is that it sees public policy as an activity that occurs before a policy comes into effect. But the fact remains that policy analysis can take place even when a policy has come into effect. However, a policy analysis undertaken on a program that is already in effect is more appropriately called a program evaluation. Brewer and De Leon have developed the following process of policy analysis. Number one is what is called initiation. Under initiation, we have creative thought about a problem, definition of objective, design of innovative options, tentative and preliminary exploration of concept, claims, and possibilities. Number two, estimation, thorough investigation of concept and claims, scientific examination of impact, and continue to do nothing and each considered intervention option, normative examination of likely consequences, development of program outlines, establishment of expected performance criteria and indication, and number three, selection. Under selection, we have debate of possible options, compromises, bargain and accommodations, reduction of uncertainty about options, integration of ideological and other non-rational elements of decision among options, and finally, assignment of executive responsibility. Then we have number four, implementation. Under implementation, we have development of rules, regulation, and guidelines to carry out decision, modification of decision to reflect operational constraints, including incentives and resources, translation of decision into operational terms, setting of program goals and standard, including schedule of operation. Then number five, we have evaluation. Under evaluation, we have comparison of expected and actual performance level according to established criteria, assignment of responsibility for discovered discrepancies in performance, and number six, we have termination. Determination of course, consequences and benefits for reduction of closure, amelioration as necessary and required, specification of new problems created during termination. The main features of policy analysis are as follows. Number one, policy analysis is integrative and interdisciplinary. Number two, policy analysis is anticipatory. Number three, policy analysis is decision-oriented. Number four, policy analysis could also be ex post facto. And number five, finally, Effective policy analysis is value conscious and client oriented. Based on this, we're going to stop the part one of this topic on public policy. I hope you actually enjoy this topic. Please, you can follow my page on Facebook. You can follow me on Facebook. You can subscribe to my channel on the YouTube, David Oniwis. Both Facebook and YouTube have the same name, David Oniwiz. The David is David, then the Oni is Oni, and the Wiz is Wiz. Subscribe and follow me on Facebook or YouTube. And also, don't forget to leave your comment and also to click on the notification button so that when I come up with more videos, you can be one of the first persons to be notified. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel or to follow my page on the Facebook. We say a very big thank you to our returning subscribers. And if you have not subscribed, please, this is the opportunity for you to subscribe. To meet next time, thank you and God bless.